A 14-year-old found with a gun in a local high school. Months later, a charge against him is dropped. And the reasons why might leave you stunned.
A weapon is a weapon, and it has no place within our school buildings.
The head of the teachers union speaking only with News 5 tonight, calling this decision alarming. And Bob Jones tells us prosecutors are now explaining why that case was dismissed.
It's alarming for our other students, for their families, certainly for our staff.
Pat Shipe, the president of Akron Education Association, is deeply troubled. This handgun, a .22 caliber, was found inside Kenmore-Garfield High School last October.
Weapons are not show and tell in a school building. It's a serious thing.
Now she's outraged that the 14-year-old who police say brought the gun to school is no longer facing a weapons charge because Summit County juvenile prosecutors dismissed it earlier this month. The gun was not loaded, but Shipe says it doesn't matter.
I don't believe whether the gun is loaded or unloaded, it should make any difference. We cannot begin to minimize and desensitize the society to students bringing weapons into school buildings.
According to a police report, school administrators could smell marijuana on the teen. His backpack was searched and the gun was found in the right side pocket. An officer also found a burnt marijuana roach in the student's pants pocket. He was charged with illegal conveyance or possession of weapons on school premises.
Bringing a weapon to a school is never acceptable. It's something that we take very seriously.
Deputy Chief Brian Harding didn't know why the gun charge was dropped.
I don't know all the specifics of the decision made ultimately by the court. I'm sure a arresting officer would be interested in some of that information, and we could follow up on that as well.
Since last Friday, News 5 has reached out to the Summit County Juvenile Prosecutor's Office several times for an explanation as to why the charge was dismissed. This afternoon, we got an interview.
At first blush, you would think, what in the world is the problem with this case?
Brian Loprinzi, the chief of the criminal division, says the charge was dropped because the gun was never shown to anyone. It was concealed in the backpack. And the weapon wasn't workable because it's missing a magazine.
If they were to change the law and said that no matter whether you displayed it or not, if you have any gun or weapon, whether it's operable or not, on the premises, we'd be more than happy to prosecute that case just to keep those out of school.
Loprinzi says if new information comes to light in the case, prosecutors could refile charges against the 14-year-old.
Under no circumstances do we want kids to be able to bring anything that even looks like a gun to school.
A statement Pat Shipe strongly agrees with.
But there have to be consequences to actions.
In Akron, Bob Jones, News 5.
Okay, so on the disciplinary side, according to the district and to union officials, the high school's administration recommended that 14-year-old boy for expulsion. But the hearing officer referred him to an alternative educational setting in a different building for up to 1 year. This is not the first time teachers and staff have expressed concern about the violence and the weapons in their schools.
If you've ever been punched in the face, yes, it hurts. My eyes were black and blue.
It has been less than 3 months since Bob Jones sat down with teachers after a number of fights in the school. That teacher we just heard from talked about her nose being broken while trying to help break up a fight. The staff was worried about the discipline handed down to some of the students in question in that case, while the district at the time told us disruptive behavior is never tolerated.